So I'd like to introduce you to our senior leak detection and boiler engineer, John Stevens. Nobody here calls him John Stevens, we call him Bear because he's a cuddly bear. Is that true?
Well, that is true. And that's his first thing in the morning, and I'm a grizzly bear.
And how he's a grizzly bear all the time. And how long have you been known as Bear?
40 odd years.
Yeah, a long time.
Yeah.
A long time. So Bear, when you're out doing boiler inspections or looking for leaks on heating systems, when you're doing surveys, in between all of that, you're actually our most experienced delivery driver. So when you're out in London, where do you deliver to?
Fulton Masons, Harrods, Lancaster House, all different places. And it goes pretty smoothly because the jobs are matched up with the deliveries, so I don't have to drive too far.
And the whole purpose of making this video is we're only a small business, we're a small family business, so we're always trying to find ways to improve the way that we run our business to the benefit obviously of our customers. So when you're out doing deliveries, for example, in between doing your proper job, do things ever go wrong, or is there anything we could do to improve what we're doing?
Nothing major goes wrong. Sometimes I'm a few bottles short, but mainly...
When you say a few bottles short, how do you mean?
Well, Will doesn't count up all the time. I'm sure he's number dyslexic sometimes.
Do you mean like with sample bottles and things like that?
Yeah.
Okay.
But that's it, and also...
Hang on. So you're doing a delivery, there's a sample bottle missing, for example. You ring up the office, you get in contact with Will. Will's obviously responsible for those orders. What does Will say?
He wasn't told.
Yeah, but he's in charge of those.
Oh, but it wasn't on the text. But it's irrelevant because you're supposed to double check everything.
So there's a little pattern forming here from everybody that we speak to. So then you've got the hassle of trying to sort the whole thing out, and obviously we do sort it out.
Well, it's quite easy because when something goes wrong, I make a phone call straight away, ring up the office, and it gets sent out by post the same day.
So in terms of, what about some of our, we've got tasting cards. We've got tasting cards. I think you had one on you a bit earlier. That literally tell the story of our gin, and each card has a different, what we call an expression, so a different way of drinking our gin or serving suggestion. We were out of those for a little while, weren't we?
No, we wasn't out of them. Will forgot to order them.
Yeah, so we were out of them.
Yeah, well, Will didn't order.
And when Will was busted for forgetting to order the tasting cards, what was his excuse?
Well, I didn't know that I had to order them.
Even though he ordered them before?
Yeah, he orders them.
And even though he was asked to order them?
Yep, he was definitely asked.
All right, Dave, make sure that we capture that. Brilliant. Bear, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.
And you've been a hero because you're actually off sick today, aren't you?
I definitely am. I've hurt my shoulder.
Yeah. I can smell the Ralgex from here, and I'm not joking, I really can. Cheers, Bear.
Thank you.
Thanks, mate. So, how long have you been with us, including all your time at Leakbusters Leak Detection?
I've been with you for 10 years now, Ian.
Sam, you are part of the furniture.
I am. Forever.
And obviously we've had a change in the last 12 months where obviously we focus on, as a business, leak detection, but we've opened a new business which is obviously re-establishing the once illicit gin. In terms of your input into what we do on the gin, what kind of things do you do?
I do some orders, deal with the online orders, deal with big orders, if I may say, Harrods, Fortnum and Masons, do the paperwork and pass it on to George.
And what about things like the really glamorous side of the job, like filling boxes and packing and tape and dealing with couriers and things like that?
Yes, I book in all the couriers, find couriers that can do it for us quick.
And it's fair to say you deal with all the hassle.
Kind of.
You do. I think you deal with the hassle. And obviously we're making this video because we're looking at ways to improve our communication with customers, so that if there's anything in the business that we can improve on that enables us to become more effective, engaging and working closely with our customers. Any recommendations?
Well, we don't get many complaints. In the office itself, I would say there's times when our young world just disappears, and it kind of puts us then in a pickle.
Does he answer his phone or text?
No, it's very hard to find him at certain times of the day.
And you keep mentioning certain times. What might those certain times be?
Well, we've done a bit of research.
Don't hold back, Sam.
we've done a little bit of research, and it's common whenever Dennis is near.
Dennis. Right, now, in this video, we don't actually have Dennis. George, how would you describe the mysterious Dennis?
Well, that's right, he's quite mysterious, but when he comes here, he's very good at just getting the job done. He will help out, and he'll be really organised.
Super organised, isn't
Really, really efficient, but strict. He won't take any nonsense.
Is he black and white, zero
Yeah.
tolerance?
Absolutely, and he won't take any nonsense.
Is he really quite close to Will in terms of their work ethic?
Possibly not.
And why would you think that Will sort of disappears when Dennis pops in?
I think he might find Dennis a little bit intimidating.
Yeah, no. What do you think, Sam? Is that possible?
Yes, and of course, because Will sometimes forgets all the delivery notes, Dennis do pick up on that.
So we've been making this film all day. Yeah, we've been here all day filming. Will was meant to be here at 12 o'clock. What's the time now? 4:30.
4:30.
And Will hasn't turned up, and hasn't answered his phone, hasn't answered any of his text messages. So hopefully he'll be a bit later to add his piece on how we can improve our communication with our customers. Thanks, guys. Thank you for the feedback.
Thank you.
So I'd like to introduce Gemma. I'm off screen here. Gemma, introduce yourself. What is it you do?
Hi, I'm Gemma. I'm the office administrator
Can I send you an
at
email?
Or Bakery
Mr.
Gin,
Freeman,
London
to
Boiler Company
confirm?
and Leapsters.
Fantastic.
I'll put
And
out
predominantly, obviously, we're going to talk about the
Freeman
gin.
at
What do you actually do on a
nextec.net.
general day-to-day basis?
I'll
And
send that
business
over to you in the
administration,
next few
booking in
minutes.
orders for the gin, PR events, organising the farmers markets, for example.
Yeah, in with
Actually
customers.
in a
Yes,
meeting.
customers. of course.
Packing orders occasionally.
Packing orders.
Didn't mention the sexy bits, the glamorous
The
bits,
glamorous parts.
the glamorous parts of the job. And how long have you been with us?
I've been here just over a year now.
And is it a boring place to work?
Thank you
Definitely
very
not,
much.
no. It's
Thank
every
you,
day is
Papa.
different. It covers a wide spectrum of things. I do everything.
Fantastic. And obviously the objective of this video is obviously to introduce everybody, explain what they do, but more importantly what we want to do, because we're a small business, in any business things go wrong, it's human nature.
Yeah.
What we're trying to do is find ways of maybe identifying some of the things that we could do better so that we improve our interaction with customers.
Sure.
So on a day-to-day thing, do things, what sort of feedback do you get from customers? Do things go wrong?
Yeah, feedback is generally fantastic. Yeah, really great. There's maybe one or two things that we could improve on, I'd
Go on.
say, from my point of view.
Go on. Don't hold back, Gemma.
So we've had some major orders, like last minute deliveries that we need to do. And things
Anyone
like,
in particular? You're allowed to name names.
Yeah, I'm not going to mention anyone apart from Will. Because basically these things are very important when
So
we're
what are they?
delivering. They're delivery notes.
Okay.
Very important when we need to hand in an order, and sometimes they've gone missing or they're just not around.
Okay. When you say they've gone missing or not around, I think you can elaborate on that.
We just don't have them.
Okay.
because Someone forgot to order them.
Okay. And who might that person be? Is it you? Is it you?
Definitely not me. No, it's Will.
Okay. And why do you think Will forgets to order things?
Well, it would be fun. I mean, he's fantastic. Will's fantastic. But if maybe his hair, if he just spent a little less time on doing his hair,
Okay.
and he'd have time to order these in.
Okay. More evidence, Dave. Have we got that?
Completely.
Okay. So fantastic, Gemma. Thank you for your feedback. I'm sure our customers will greatly appreciate the feedback,
Yeah.
and it will help us run a better business.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Any tips on how we can make the business better? How we can improve Old Bakery
We
Gin?
don't. But,
Well, like
obviously
all
we will
companies,
try to get
they
it as
have to
close
be
as possible to what
consistent.
we have.
Okay.
And
If you wanna send me a
consistency
picture, I can
runs
work on that,
into
the
individuals.
Okay.
policy.
And Wilf,
Because yes, that is actually
being a nice lad he is not consistent.
Okay. Do you want to tell me why he's not consistent?
Well, he's not consistent in. No, I'm not.
So, yeah,
So if I give you a large gin and tonic, will you tell me?
No. No.
All right then. Okay. Well, I'll take on board your wise words, and I'll have a gentle chat with young William when he comes in. He's already 4 hours late anyway.
Oh, right. No. No, yes, yes. I'm glad you brought that point to my attention because the simple reason I thought of something else that is not consistent.
And what's that?
I'll keep that a secret
All right, okay.
between me and Will.
Okay.
All
All right.
But the hours are very important. It must be on time at all times.
Oh, he's always bloody late. Okay, thanks, Dad. This is Gorgeous George. George is our operations director, and George is very efficient. You're up there in the league of gods with Dennis for super efficiency. George, over to you. Just give the viewer a flavour, all joking apart, a flavour of the kind of things that you do on a day-to-day basis, and what you do at Old Bakery Gin.
Well, actually here in the distillery, I'm putting the labels on the bottles, and then I'll be waxing the tops of the bottles.
Okay. What else are you applying there?
It's our little tear-off strip, which is actually just reinforced tape.
That's right. That's right.
But it works just as well.
As
if not
proper,
better.
yeah,
if not better.
than expensive tear-off strips. Yeah. It's funny. And as you know, we're making this video, which is all about improving the way that we communicate with customers. Yeah. Just on a practical level, what are some of the things that go wrong? When I say wrong, I don't mean disastrously wrong, because that doesn't happen. But you know, there's always ways of improving what we do.
Yeah.
What are some of the things that you think we could do better?
Well, right now with what I'm doing here, it's going okay because I've got everything that I need.
Sure.
However, there's other times when there is no wax or we don't have any labels.
Okay, and
It's not because
I'm aware of that. I'm certainly aware that it's happened, and you can't just ring up the label maker and say we want labels tomorrow.
No,
because it's like a 2-week delivery. Yeah. So what happens?
Well, instead of thinking now we've got 300-400 labels left, let's order some more, we wait until we've got maybe 20 or 30, and that way we really struggle.
And when you say the we, because I'd like to think that the royal we, I'd like to think that I'm not too involved. I mean, I should be involved, and obviously I'm responsible. But the royal we, I mean, why is this happening, George? You're a man that likes to name names.
Somebody forgets to order them.
Okay.
And that somebody's not you, and that somebody's not me.
And that somebody, obviously he's not here today.
No.
Who would that somebody be?
Will.
Will. And why do you think Will forgets to do all these things?
I don't know. He's probably occupied with other things.
Oh, that's fair enough. That's fair enough. He's a free spirit. I think that's fair to say. And what's one of the things that Will recently did? What did he lose? You've been quite evasive in not bringing this up.
It's quite a large thing to lose.
So what did he lose?
I mean, we lost the keys for it several times.
We're talking about our car. We're talking about our company vehicle.
Not just the keys on this occasion.
You actually lost the car.
A few times it was just the keys, but
you lost the car.
we lost the car.
We lost the car for a week and a half.
Yeah.
And we literally had to search.
We went around the whole area. I think you were close to sort of going on Auto Trader trying to look at new vehicles.
He'd forgotten actually where he parked the car.
Yeah, and denied that he was the last person to use it.
Yeah, but when obviously when we looked at our records, we were able to see that he certainly was the last one. But he was actually busted. And how was he busted?
Well, when we found the vehicle, got inside it, at this point he still denied that he was the last person to use it. He wasn't the person that left it in that spot where we found it. Turned on the ignition. Gangster rap music. I don't listen to gangster rap.
I certainly don't listen to gangster rap.
Bear doesn't listen to gangster rap.
Tracy doesn't.
No, Gemma does, but she's never used that car.
No.
So it could only be Will.
And also, when you put the key in the ignition and turned it on, so the music came on immediately. Was it gentle or was it on full?
It gave us a nasty shock.
You were awoken by some gangster rap.
Yeah, it made me jump, definitely.
Fantastic. And does Will still plead the fifth on this?
Absolutely, yeah.
Absolutely. Well, we'll get a chance to speak to Will about all of these little infractions when he appears, whenever that may be. Thanks, George.
Thanks.
But I'd like to introduce Tracy. Tracy, I'm going to ask you some questions on camera. And Tracy, I'm going to sit down over here because of my dodgy leg. Tracy, over to you. Introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Tracy, or Miss T, and I've been working for Old Bakery Gin now for...
You're allowed to lie.
A long time, though, for about 4 or 5 months, I suppose. And it's been really good fun, yeah.
And what have been some of the highlights?
Oh, Catford Gin Festival, definitely. Selling out of gin was it was a highlight because we sold out, but a bit of a low point because people were very disappointed, and we had a huge queue of people fighting for the last bottle on the shelf, but it was quite good fun.
And you've been helping us with PR, marketing, working on farmers markets, managing stalls, and even some of your own events. Some feedback. How's all that going?
Well, it's been really, as I said, it's been really enjoyable. What I'm surprised about is the amount of people that are like, oh, I don't drink gin. Just try a bit. And they're all like, oh, it's really, really smooth. And actually, amazing how many people have sort of bought a bottle and they've been non-gin drinkers. So it definitely stands on its own as a very good gin.
And we're a young baby business. We've only been going for 5 minutes in the gin world, literally in every sense of the word. What would your feedback be? What could we improve on? What do you think we could improve on? Marketing wise, or anything really?
Nothing stands out massively at the moment. I think
good feedback from the office, good help, support from the office.
Very good support from the office. Yeah, the girls in the office are great. George is fantastic.
Bear
is Bear.
And myself, dare I ask?
Oh well.
Be careful what you say.
You haven't paid me enough money to possibly comment on that.
And in terms of feedback on other things, so all joking apart, what could we improve on? Is there any things that you think, oh, hang on, we could do this a bit better? Anything gone wrong ever?
I suppose we've been a little bit late to a few markets.
Okay, and why would you fess up on camera for being late?
It wasn't me that made us late.
Okay, what happened?
I was here at the distillery early, ready to go.
How early? On a Sunday morning?
Oh, about 6 o'clock. And I was waiting for my partner to help me out.
And I've noticed you've been very evasive here. When you say partner, can we just mention names?
Well, I don't like to be put on the spot.
Much.
I don't want to put anyone in trouble.
Okay, well, you're busted. So when you've been doing Sunday markets with Will,
yeah.
So one of you have made you late.
That's correct.
And was it you?
No.
Okay. Tracy, you need to be more frank.
I'm afraid we have to blame Will.
Exactly. Okay, well, I'll take this up with Will myself. I want to thank you obviously for coming down. You weren't meant to be here 4 hours ago, but but you've made it
just a little bit late.
Just a little bit late, ever so slightly by Will standards. Before we talk about obviously Old Bakery Gin and your role here, and this is really an introduction to the team. Will, I've got to ask you more important things than gin. Mm-hmm. Your hair. How long did it take you this morning?
It took me a good half an hour and 3 cans of hairspray.
Brilliant. And you're not exaggerating for the camera?
Not at all. Not at all. It doesn't move. It
does not move. Brilliant. So, Will, all joking apart, we've done this video today and everyone's been introduced because the gin, if we were to talk about the gin, which we've done loads of things on, the gin stands on its own 2 feet. It's an award-winning gin. But really, as a business, the reason we are successful and have been so successful in a very, very short period of time is it's the people behind it. Well, a couple of final questions. Which I forgot to ask you when we were doing our little interview. How successful was that?
It was brilliant. I've never seen it like it. Literally, this little tiny little distillery was absolutely packed.
The Muse was full. They couldn't
The
get
Muse
in.
was full. We had 2
couldn't
gazebos all set out. They were all full. It was crazy.
Fantastic. And also, when you were serving drinks behind the bar here, Dennis came up to you. And what did Dennis say to you?
We had a little bit of an issue.
But what did Dennis say to you?
He came over and he said, "Hello, Will. Have you lost any cars recently?" classic chill and opera night, isn't I quite like a lot of your sort of pop, your sort of R&B. Maybe some people would class it as gangster rap. I don't know.
And has that got anything to do with your hair?
No comment.
Well, you've been a great sport. Cheers, mate.
Cheers, mate.
Thank you.